What up guys, it's Jules here, aka your Southwest Savage from WhatCulture.com, and I've got another episode of the most insane things happening in wrestling this week for you. Now, as per usual, like being in an orgy, there are things coming at me from left, right and centre, so let's grab it by the knackers and work up a froth. If you ever wondered what a match would be like if it was set inside a library, then look no further than Kane versus Finn Balor. It was so silent and slow-moving that I could feel my cells actually dying, and it's another weird move by the WWE to kill off the once prominent Irish superstar. The whole match came across as a bit antagonistic, as recently, as we all know, it was meant to be Brock versus Balor, but Balor, the Irish Lego collector, was deemed unworthy for some reason or another. So they ran a poll of who should face Brock, and Balor won. Yikes. So Balor dominated the polls, and therefore, in what can only be described as WWE boy logic, Kane dominated Balor. Right. And before you say it, this isn't just another one of those indie darling whining, oh, he's not getting pushed properly sort of things. It's actually about Kane. He is way past his prime. He is a relic, and he should not be beating Finn. The general consensus is in the office here, why is he even wrestling at this stage in his career? He's done all he can, and he's not really got much more to give. Nobody buys Kane as a threat. And thanks to this weird booking, nobody sees Finn as a challenge. Now, logic will dictate that Kane will put over the resurrected demon at some point on his way out, but why does there need to be such a merciless beatdown until then? You like the Christmas jumper, by the way? Brilliant. I'd love it if it just said brilliant on there. I'd wear that. I'd buy it, because of course I'd buy it. It'd be my merchandise. You'd buy it too. Make me some money. Do you know what I hate more than God himself for making me so bold? It's match stipulations that don't make any f***ing sense. This week on SmackDown, hardest man in wrestling, Shane McMahon, decided that he'd make a no disqualification match between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, but the other stipulation was that Sami Zayn was barred from ringside. Now Shane, mate, I don't know if you've maybe taken one of your terrible punches to the head, but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't work. You can't have a no disqualification match and then have a stipulation that will disqualify somebody if he shows up. And he f***ing attacked him on the ramp, which technically didn't count as ringside. The shenanigans. The shenanigans, mate. Like a bunch of cheeky whippets. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Jules, you long schlong silver. Doesn't matter. Just switch your brain off. And you know what? You're right. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. It is just wrestling and entertainment at the end of the day. But when you've got people like Stephanie McMahon comparing the stories that they tell on their shows to the likes of Shakespeare, then that doesn't sit right with me. That's fucking bullshit, and we should pick them up on it. Although I would actually really like to see old Shaky P come down to the ring, do a run-in. You'd have like the sonnet drop, or the Swanton Sonnet would probably be his finisher. And they just fucking stand around in the middle, whooping his fucking like a gorilla. First thing in the morning, I haven't got much sleep. So recently, Kevin Nash, aka Kevin Mash if he was a food group, made a weird cameo appearance on a new Sky One TV comedy drama show entitled Living the Dream, in which a Yorkshire family goes to a Florida, like a weird trailer park, and they live the dream. Oh, I'm gonna get cramping if I keep doing that. But as you can imagine, the dream turns into a nightmare. Oh, the shenanigans. It's fucking shit. Now, a Nash cameo on a terrible TV show isn't exactly newsworthy. After all, he appeared on that terrible Love Boat film. Ugh. But it's the writer and producer Mick Ford and his ability to sneak in a rib that really caught our attention. In the show, Nash plays a retired wrestler who suffers from a shoulder injury. Obviously, Ford was aware that it would be too on the nose if he did anything to do with legs. Now, the setup of the whole joke is that Nash is too broken to make it look good for the people, so he just lumbers around with the speed of a glacier and really just does nothing. A few weak kicks in the corner. But this is where it gets funny, because it is so close to real life, and his match against Triple H in TLC 2011, that it makes it really, really funny. It's definitely the standout moment on an otherwise absolute skipfire. Ladies, gentlemen, neckbeards across the globe, I have to deliver some sad news now. FloSlam, the independent wrestling streaming service, is dead. Now, this service actually contained a lot of the WWN product, and it is sad to see it go. But the weird thing is that the details of the death, as detailed by Fightful's David Bixenspan, are absolutely nanas. So now, wrestling promotion Evolve was a part of FloSlam, a big part, in fact, because FloSlam apparently paid $3.4 million to have their services on their network. Now, that is a ludicrous amount of money to spend on what is effectively a niche organization. It's kind of like Spotify banking everything on Cannibal Corpse bringing home the bacon. But here's where things get a little bit sticky. Now, FloSlam are apparently suing Evolve because of the fact that they believe that they inflated their numbers and their sales numbers to make their product seem more profitable. Eep. And now we're all left wondering what kind of shady deals were going on backstage for this to happen. Plus, we also know that the WWE has given Evolve a bit of a rub from time to time, so what's going on there? But the more blatant thing, most obvious and prominent thing is, why would you ever pony up over $3 million for something like that? That's on you. You flowed yourself. You flowed yourself. All facetiousness aside, though, it is actually a genuine shame because, let's face it, in this current climate, the WWE needs to be challenged and woken from its bear-like slumber by good and healthy competition. And with one less person there, that is less likely to happen. So, I think I speak for us all. R.I.P. and pepperonis, FloSlam. Right, so Cody Rhodes, aka the most handsome man alive, is about to undertake something quite drastic, all because of a dare. So this week on Twitter, Dave Meltzer was asked whether or not he thought that Ring of Honor was capable of selling out a 10,000-seat arena, to which he replied, nah. Now this little jabberoo was enough to get Cody's tights in a twist, and he responded with, it's gonna happen in 2018. And I'm gonna make it so. Speaking to Busted Open Radio this week, Cody confirmed that his dream match for this event would be himself as the Ring of Honor champion versus Daniel Bryan. Now, suddenly, if that match was to come true, those 10,000 seats shifting ain't gonna be very difficult at all. Now, the show is provisionally called All In, and it's got people very, very excited. And also, when people get excited, it makes the WWE do a very, very angry poo. And they probably are gonna just lumber in and throw their weight around the same time at this event to draw attention away. But you know what? That ain't a bad thing. If they're gonna make ridiculous matches on both sides of the card, then we win. If Cody can pull this off and terrify the WWE, then he will finally become that trailblazer that he markets himself as. Good luck to you, champ. Not that you need it. You've got the bone structure of a f***ing angel. And that, as my dad said when I tried to hug him the other week, is enough. I will end the show the only way I know how, by reading my favorite comment from last week's episode. What happened to Jules giving us the fingers in the intro? Well, it's basically just because the bosses asked me to take it out. They didn't want it to be too offensive, you know? It's too visually offensive. But they still allow me to say stuff like shoving it and mother vomit on them, and then garden hose dump because because I don't really want to ram somebody's head in, kick him right in the teeth, and that is how you make a Parliament sandwich. And with that, all that's left for me to say is a massive thank you to Michael Sidgwick and Phil Chambers for helping me make this show so absolutely body butter great. Thank you for watching. As always, you've been awesome, and I've been Jules. Flip that around, and that's usually my catchphrase. I'll speak to you soon. Jesus Christ.
So, thanks for watching. Please feel free to click on any of these things around my head, or something terrible might happen to the dog. Too sweet me, bro. Traitor. Traitor.